Well, snow is already on the ground. We could get up to a couple more inches of snow tonight, and then 24 hours from now, the biggest snowfall of the season could hit our area. It's all making for difficult driving conditions, especially over our mountain passes, which have seen on-again, off-again closures the past few days. Good evening, and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 11 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan, standing alongside meteorologist Thomas Patrick in the Outdoor Weather Center. I don't know how well it picks up on camera, but it is snowing at this hour. And in the immediate term, we could get, as we mentioned, a couple tonight, but then tomorrow night, a lot of snow.
A lot more tomorrow. I would say this is a bit lighter in terms of snowfall than we had last hour when you were out here. But first of all, it's just glad to have you out here with me just to experience it. You were mentioning the snow that's falling is kind of snowball snow. It's not like perfect, but it's still going to be 1 to 2 inches for tonight. We're tracking a lot
can
of.
be significant, right?
Yeah. Even 1 inch of snow can always be very slippery in terms of the road conditions across the inland northwest. But the main event, as we're dubbing it, is going to be for tomorrow evening, and that's the graphic that you see behind me. Winter storm watches, the first of the season for the Spokane area, go into effect tomorrow at 10 o'clock at night. So we're about 23 hours from that kicking in, but a bit of light snow this evening is going to make for another slippery morning commute for tomorrow. Here's the snow tonight, probably about 1 to 2 inches in most areas, a little bit heavier in southeastern Washington, and that is going to last for a couple hours, but likely going to be gone before about 5 or 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. So light to moderate snow across Spokane County, as you see here, might last for a couple hours. We look at the mountain passes, which have seen a ton of snow. In fact, Snoqualmie at about 260 inches of snow on the season so far has seen those road closures on and off over the last several days. The heavy snow once again re-picks up tomorrow during the PM hours over the Cascades, transitioning over to northern Washington and Lookout Pass for Thursday morning and Thursday afternoon. This is a significant weather system that's going to be driving a lot of moisture into the area, right into the area of the atmosphere that just develops that snowfall, and it's going to dump at least 4 inches of snow for most of the inland northwest. But we'll go in high detail as to how much snow you can expect for that main event snowstorm come tomorrow evening and into Thursday. An important forecast coming up in a few minutes.
All right, sounds good, Thomas. Thank you very much. As we mentioned, I-90 westbound over Snoqualmie Pass is closed right now due to extreme weather conditions and crashes. And those types of conditions will not let up anytime soon. Travel across all the mountain passes will be challenging over the next few days. Heavy winds are also expected over the Cascades with at least 2 feet of snow Wednesday night. So everyone is suggested not to use the passes the next 72 hours. So if you can, consider delaying your trip, say transportation officials. And we want to make sure you have everything you need to know for the upcoming snow. So for the latest hour-by-hour forecast and Thomas's latest forecast, just text us the word weather to 509-448-2000. We'll send a link directly to your phone. Our other top story tonight, record new COVID cases. Just yesterday, the U.S. reported more than 1 million new cases. We are seeing a huge surge as well. The Spokane Regional Health District is reporting 718 new COVID cases today alone. That's a big jump from yesterday when the health district reported 203 new cases. 78 people are currently hospitalized right now with the virus in Spokane County. That's a jump of 11 new hospitalizations since yesterday. Meantime, across the state line, the Panhandle Health District is reporting 163 new COVID cases today. 80 people are hospitalized there with the virus. That's a jump of 19 new hospitalizations just since yesterday. Looking nationally now, coronavirus infections are shattering records in the U.S. More than 1 million new cases were reported yesterday alone. Now, the number likely includes totals from Saturday and Sunday, but the 7-day average of new cases is now close to 500,000. The Washington State Board of Health is considering now adding the COVID-19 vaccine to the list of vaccines that K-12 students are required to have to attend school. The Meade School Board wants parents to let the state know how they feel. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk talked to one board member who says she supports vaccines, but not mandates.
Right now, there are 11 vaccines that students are required to have if they attend public school or daycare. Those include measles, mumps, polio, and chickenpox. Now, the Washington State Board of Health is considering adding the COVID-19 vaccine to the list.
We're talking to lots of parents. There are a lot of people who are very concerned about this, and not just parents, grandparents, community members. There's a lot of people concerned about this.
Brianne Gray is a parent and a Meade School Board member.
So I totally support vaccines again and all other childhood immunizations. What we're kind of arguing is a mandate for this. It's forcing parents to vaccinate their children, even though they don't necessarily feel comfortable with it. But they're being put in this position to vaccinate or not have access to education, and it's just, this is a totally unnecessary and terrible position to put the parents in.
A survey from our Seattle sister station, King 5, asked 650 Washington state residents how they felt about mandating the COVID-19 vaccine for schools. Overall, 41% said they strongly support the idea, 27% strongly opposed. But look at the breakdown of numbers on each side of the state. 54% of Eastern Washington residents surveyed opposed the mandate, while 66% of people in Western Washington supported it.
Hearing people say they're going to take their kids out of school.
Last November, the Seattle School District urged the state to add the COVID-19 vaccine to the list of required immunizations.
Public schools are meant to be run locally, right, and have local control and not always have this top-down sort of government approach.
Meade School Board members are asking parents to speak up and provide public comments to the State Board of Health ahead of their January 12th meeting. Those comments have to be submitted by noon this Friday on the state website.
It's our job as the school board to represent their voice and to stand up and let the State Board of Health know.
Reporting in Spokane, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
Meanwhile, Gonzaga University is requiring COVID-19 booster shots for all vaccinated students, faculty, and staff. Gonzaga said people must receive their booster shot within 14 days of becoming eligible. Students should update their status with booster information no later than Friday, January 21st. Gonzaga is also requiring that all students, regardless of vaccination status, get tested 48 hours before returning to campus. Providence's chief medical officer gave a stern warning of the impact the Omicron variant could have locally. He talked about a probable upcoming surge in cases, which could lead to increased hospitalizations. Dr. Dan Getz said Providence is experiencing more healthcare workers getting sick with COVID or being exposed and having to be tested before returning to work. This is compounding the staffing issues the hospitals are already facing as they continue to treat high numbers of not just COVID patients, but all those patients sick with other illnesses. Dr. Getz warned of severe consequences if the staffing crisis gets worse and hospitalization numbers get too high.
You just can't deliver care to everybody. And we're already at a point now where staffing is incredibly challenging. And if we see lots of ill calls and a high volume of patients, this really could drive the state into a crisis standards of care setting.
Dr. Getz also said this is impacting the amount of testing they can provide to people. He did say that at the peak of hospitalizations during Delta, that was a lot worse than what Providence is currently seeing, but it is on par with the first surge during the pandemic.
Been working to try to keep up with volume. It's definitely taking a toll. So also the double volume of the onset of the new variant has also been really hard for us to match staffing measures.
And we've talked about the challenges Omicron is creating for our local testing sites. With only 2 local mass testing sites, Spokane residents looking to get tested for COVID are having to allocate up to an hour of wait time. Both testing sites have 500 tests for each day of operation. Discovery Health, which is running the sites, says they plan to increase testing capacities to 1,400 tests, but they're having enough staffing that's delaying that goal, they said. Providence Health also talked about staffing shortages, saying people are the most valuable asset when trying to provide more local testing access. They say a way for the public to help lines or move lines faster is by pre-registering for tests and submitting information online before visiting that site. Look, we know that was a lot of information we just threw your way. So for more about where to get tested, just text us the word COVID to 509-448-2000 and we'll send that information directly to your phone.
So we have a clear majority. Congratulations, Councilmember Haley, you are the new mayor.
Well, tonight the city of Spokane Valley has just selected a new mayor. In the Valley, voters elect council members and then the council votes on the mayor and the deputy mayor. So the council selected Pam Haley as their new mayor tonight. She replaces Ben Wick, who remains on the council. Haley has served on the city council for 6 years now. She's a small business owner. Rod Higgins was chosen to serve as the deputy mayor of Spokane Valley. State Democrats are looking to put the controversial long-term care tax on hold until next year. Deductions from paychecks were set to begin this month, but last month, Governor Jay Inslee put the payroll tax on pause, saying some kinks needed to be worked out. Well, this week, Democratic House lawmakers pre-filed legislation to delay the tax until July of next year. Under the legislation, any premium collected before then would be refunded by the state within 120 days.
And we just went into a mode where we're getting these kids out, we're getting them safe.
After the break, a family of Good Samaritans jumped into action to rescue children after a fire broke out in their backyard. We'll have more on that story coming up after the break.